Have you ever woken up feeling like you're living someone else's life? Not in the grand philosophical sense, but in the everyday way. A life built on endless routines, a relentless chase for achievement, and a constant need to prove your worth. Today, let's challenge that very notion. From the moment we open our eyes, we are handed a script written by society, by institutions, by our own internalized expectations. We're told that success is measured by the number of tasks we tick off our lists, that our value is defined by our output, and that resting is synonymous with failure. But what if, for just a moment, we dared to ask, what if everything you do every day is a performance in a play you never auditioned for? I invite you to question the mundane. Every morning you drag yourself out of bed, rush through the motions, and attend to a never-ending parade of obligations. It's as if the very act of simply being is wrong unless it serves a greater purpose. But who decided that your existence must be so meticulously measured? Who declared that each minute must be productive, that leisure is a luxury only for those who have earned it? Since childhood, we are spoon-fed the idea that we must excel academically, pursue certain careers, and ultimately become productive cogs in a vast, impersonal machine. Our worth is calculated in diplomas, job titles, and the steady accumulation of achievements. Yet behind this glittering facade lies a harsh reality. In our relentless pursuit of productivity, we've surrendered the wild, untamed parts of our souls. Pause and reflect. When was the last time you did something purely for the joy of it? When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be without the pressure of performance? It's a question that stings, because deep down, you know there is a part of you that has been silenced, a part that rebels against the constant need to produce. Imagine, if you will, a world where your intrinsic worth isn't tied to your output, a world where you're free to exist without the burden of usefulness. In this alternate reality, the measure of life isn't counted by completed tasks or milestones, but by the moments of wonder, the bursts of creativity, and the quiet, introspective pauses that remind us what it means to be truly human. There's a whisper beneath the clamor of everyday life, a soft, persistent reminder that you were not born to simply function, but to feel, to revel in the mystery of existence, to experience life in its full, raw intensity. Yet society has conditioned us to equate feelings with inefficiency, to view contemplation as a luxury we can't afford. We've been taught to believe that if we're not constantly on the move, we are somehow failing ourselves. And this is where the rebellion begins. The rebellion is not about inciting chaos or renouncing responsibility. It's about reclaiming the forgotten parts of who you are. It's about recognizing that every scheduled minute is a decision, a choice to let go of the part of you that dreams wildly and lives fully. That inner spark, that deep well of creativity and emotion, has been quietly eroding beneath the weight of relentless schedules and incessant demands. Consider this. Have you ever felt that your soul is whispering to you, urging you to break free from the confines of the routine? That beneath the surface of your daily grind, there is a call to live on your own terms. It is a call not for more productivity or more achievements, but for something more elemental, the courage to feel, to wonder, to be. This is not a new idea. Throughout history, philosophers, poets, and artists have challenged the notion that a life of constant work is the only path to fulfillment. They have spoken of the beauty of idleness, the power of unstructured time, and the necessity of waste, not waste in the sense of excess consumption, but waste as the free, unmonitored space where true life unfolds. In the echo of their words, there is a profound realization. The modern obsession with productivity is a form of self-imprisonment. We are trapped not by external forces alone, but by the internalized belief that our value is inextricably linked to our achievements. Every time we sacrifice a moment of stillness for the sake of another item on our to-do list, we imprison a fragment of our spirit. Ask yourself, what if the greatest act of defiance in today's world is to simply refuse to perform? What if, by reclaiming the freedom to exist without justification, we rediscover a part of ourselves that we thought was lost forever? This is not merely a call to do nothing in a literal sense. It's an invitation to liberate yourself from the tyranny of constant doing. It's a challenge to embrace the present moment, to value being over becoming. And yes, it might seem radical, perhaps even unsettling, but consider the alternative. A lifetime spent chasing an ever-receding ideal of productivity, where every breath is measured against some arbitrary standard. Imagine a new paradigm, one where you can walk through the world without the incessant pressure to be useful, where moments of quiet contemplation are not seen as lapses in productivity, but as opportunities to reconnect with your most authentic self. This is the paradigm of liberation, a world in which the clock no longer dictates your worth, and the constant hum of responsibility is replaced by the soft, steady beat of your own heart. You see, our modern society has mastered the art of making us feel guilty for simply being. It tells us that we are incomplete unless we are in a state of perpetual motion, and that the only acceptable pace of life is one marked by constant activity. But in doing so, it strips away the essence of what it means to truly live. The relentless pursuit of utility leaves no room for the kind of waste that is truly productive. The waste of time that is spent living, not performing, of moments that are surrendered to the beauty of uncertainty rather than the tyranny of schedules. In reclaiming these moments, we not only resist the commodification of our existence, but also rediscover the inherent value of our humanity. Let's be clear, this is not a manifesto for abandoning all responsibilities or for retreating into a life of isolation. Rather, it is a call to recognize that you are more than the sum of your tasks. It is an invitation to celebrate the ineffable, to honor the spontaneous bursts of joy that no metric can capture, and to understand that sometimes the most profound act of rebellion is to simply exist. Reflect on your day-to-day life. How often do you allow yourself a moment of true stillness, a moment where you aren't striving to be something or someone else? In our constant state of doing, the parts of us that are meant to feel, dream, and wonder are slowly silenced. But within that silence, there is a raw, untamed power waiting to be unleashed, a power that belongs to the very core of your being. As you listen to these words, I urge you to consider the possibility that your life might be richer, deeper, and more meaningful than the endless pursuit of utility suggests. That there is beauty in waste, waste that is not a sign of failure, but a celebration of being alive. This waste is the fertile ground from which creativity, spontaneity, and genuine happiness emerge. Now, a challenge for you. I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes if you can, and simply feel. Let the layers of expectation peel away, even if only for a moment. Feel the air enter your lungs, the steady rhythm of your heartbeat, the quiet hum of life that surrounds you. And in that stillness, ask yourself, what do I truly need to be beyond the confines of productivity? There is a powerful truth in acknowledging that our relentless drive to produce is, in many ways, a distraction from the most vital parts of our existence. It's a subtle but potent form of self-erasure, where every minute spent on the treadmill of productivity is a minute that could have been devoted to exploring the vast, uncharted territories of your inner world. Remember the words of a great thinker who once said, "In the art of doing nothing, we often discover everything." Those words may seem paradoxical in a culture obsessed with action, but they hold an essential insight, that in embracing the space between our actions, we make room for something truly transformative. As we reach the close of this reflection, know that this is not the end. It's merely an invitation to a new beginning. A beginning where you dare to question, to resist, and to reclaim the part of you that was never meant to be confined by schedules, deadlines, or societal expectations. I invite you now to make a small declaration, a simple act of rebellion. In the comments below, write, "I refuse to be defined solely by my productivity. I choose to feel, to exist, and to be free." Let that be a quiet yet powerful statement of your commitment to living a life that honors every facet of who you are. The real journey begins when you allow yourself to step off the relentless treadmill of doing and start embracing the beauty of being. In that space, you will rediscover the parts of you that have long been neglected, the parts that are wild, imaginative, and deeply human. So, as you close this video, I encourage you to turn off your notifications, step away from the demands of your to-do list, even if just for 5 minutes, and let yourself simply exist. Look up at the sky, feel the breeze, and let your mind wander without purpose. Because in that uncharted space, you will find a freedom that no amount of productivity can ever offer. Thank you for joining me in this journey of introspection and defiance. Remember, your worth is not measured by what you produce, but by the richness of your experience, the depth of your feelings, and the authenticity of your being. Until next time, dare to live beyond the confines of usefulness. Embrace the chaos, cherish the silence, and let yourself be. Because in doing so, you will unlock the most profound secret of all, that you are enough, exactly as you are.